And on this India Today special broadcast, let's decode the optics, the symbolism and the substantive part of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the White House. And who better than Ambassador Taranjit Singh Sandhu joining us on this broadcast. He was India's ambassador to the United States from 2020 to 2024 and has served in the United States both when Donald Trump was in the White House and when Joe Biden was in the White House. In fact, when Donald Trump came to India for Namaste Trump, Ambassador Sandhu had played a key role in that, and we'll talk about this during the broadcast. Ambassador Sandhu, as always, welcome on India Today. I want to understand from you, sir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke of Donald Trump's mission of MAGA, or Make America Great Again, his mission of Make India Great Again. So MAGA plus MEGA, he said that becomes into a mega partnership. What are the key takeaways for you from this mega partnership meeting within 1 month of Trump's inauguration?
So I think the timing is very significant. It's very important that they met very early, and that has been reflected in an early visit, as you have indicated, in the first 3 weeks. The visit, and you have seen all of that, we have already played it out. I'm sure your people have also watched it. And if you include the joint statement with it, I think this clearly lays out that this was indeed a productive and a substantive visit. And I am saying it on the basis of what has come out. I was already mentioning it to you earlier, that there are clear 6 areas which they are talking about transformative changes. So, peace is there, investment and trade is there, energy is there, technology and innovation are there, multilateral cooperation is there, and of course, people-to-people issues. So, with these, there's also clear datelines. In each of these subgroups, if you go, there are specific areas which are to be covered, and the committees have a dateline put with them. And that's why this is certainly a step forward, and the very fact that they have got together and people have got the directions, that is both the administrations and the government, that they have to move forward. The leadership has shown the green flag. This is not to say that there will not be any challenges. Of course there will be. That's what the negotiations is about.
Oh, absolutely. So let's talk about the challenges, let's talk about the opportunities, and let's talk about the optics for a moment. So the moment Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed, his first interaction was with Tulsi Gabbard, just approved as Director National Intelligence, his interaction with National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, his interaction with DOD Chief Elon Musk, and the way Trump introduced him to his entire team. What did you make of that? What message comes out from there, sir?
I think the symbolism was very clear. He stayed in the Blair House, and I think you know the historical as well as the presence in Blair House. It's the guest house within the premises of White House. And the fact that Tulsi Gabbard met him, of course, Prime Minister and Tulsi Gabbard know each other very well. We have known Tulsi Gabbard for a long time. She was the co-chair of India Caucus. In fact, I had the privilege of attending her marriage in Hawaii. So a very, very smart choice, and she's a serving colonel. So there's an element of defense there too. So also the other people. And I think the interaction with much known Elon Musk with his children showed the personal side too. So I think, and you had the NSA there, and you had the other columns. But more importantly, even in the delegation, you saw the lineup there. So both the sides were able to have frank and candid conversations, which is largely due to the good rapport both the Prime Minister and the President have. So last evening, you remember, at that time, everybody was saying that, this talks are going to fall through and there is going to be some big blast there. But that didn't help. That didn't happen. And that didn't happen because this relationship has already moved into the partnership stage. And please remember this tariff, which is again and again mentioned. Tariffs have also been put on a number of important allies of United States. And as I had yesterday pointed to you, that it's basically the imbalance, and India doesn't feature that high. But nevertheless, if you look at the joint statement, there's a clear roadmap laid out there.
Okay, and that's the point I wanted to come to. There are some commentators who say the timing of Trump's announcement of reciprocal tariffs, just hours before his meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the White House, was that intended to send a signal? Was that, to ensure that he's not swayed by India's, as many argue, the charm offensive of Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Or that's par for the course, India had factored that in, some aspects already taken care of in the budget, others you have to negotiate?
So, look, this was quite clear that he is going to make the announcement. I do not think it's linked with the visit because a number of visits were taking place. And this visit could have taken place 3 days earlier or 2 days later too. So it's not planning was done more with the protocol that, with a very limited time, quickly, one after another, the top leaders, the top 4 leaders had come. So I would not link it with that. I think it was well known. But look at what has come out in the joint statement. Look at trade and investment. It's one of the important areas. In fact, Prime Minister Modi earlier had tweeted that trade will be one of the important discussions. And I think if we look at it, the new goal of Mission 500, which is double the total bilateral trade to 500 billion.
$1 billion.
That is there. Then we also have the negotiations of bilateral trade agreement by fall of 2025. Now, what does that mean? That means forward movement. You also have a pledge by both sides to address what are bilateral trade barriers, market access, and also supply chain. And remember, who had brought in the term supply chain first in importance was in Trump 1.0 during the time COVID was there. And the implication was obviously secure supply chains. So all these aspects have been brought in, but also remember, the joint statement mentions about Indian investments in United States, almost of 8 billion, and creating high quality jobs.
The aspect I want to raise now, as we talk about energy, India is already buying gas, LNG from the United States of America. Donald Trump's dream of drill, baby, drill more oil, export more oil. Overall, how does that pan out? And especially when the conversation now is also on the small modular reactors and India's, looking at nuclear energy, whether from France or from the United States of America, sir.
So, Gaurav, let us realistically look at our problem. We require huge energy requirements. And that has to be met by a basket of areas. Now, we also, what is the term? It's energy security, meaning you are not dependent on just one. And a lot can happen there. So, I think it is in India's interest to diversify energy imports. And United States has emerged as an important energy producer. And it's also trying to become an energy exporter. So this is merely reflecting that, the US-India Energy Security Partnership. This is furthering that. Basically, we would like to get more LNG, more oil, and US is willing to give it to us. And if that helps to balance the trade, why not? I mean, we are not in any loss. The second part which you mentioned is the nuclear energy. You know that SMEs are becoming in vogue now, meaning small nuclear modular reactors. Now, US is an important producer, and India, that could be an important solution because having big nuclear reactors, these are also alternatives. So that's another area which has been brought in focus. So I think the energy partnership was destined to go deeper. And if that amount increases and it can balance between both two sides, I don't see any loss for us.
Okay. So, which could well be win-win, hopefully. Another aspect I want to focus on is the IMEC, India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, and the I2U2, India, Israel, United Arab Emirates, and the United States of America. This cooperation, do you see IMEC, which was talked about during India's G20 presidency, could this be a game changer and a response or an answer to China's Belt and Road Initiative? Is that what we are looking at? Are we also looking at a time frame for IMEC and I2U2 taking that forward?
So being an alternative or not, I'll leave it to the experts and analysts to come, but it's very important, no doubt. Look, both United States and India give a lot of importance to the Middle East, and particularly we are here talking about Saudi Arabia and UAE. You know that our commercial strategic relationship with them are very important. And so is for United States. If you look at Trump 1.0, when Abraham's Accords were signed, you saw that both UAE and Saudi Arabia were important players in that. And the Prime Minister had a very good personal rapport with the leaders of both those countries. Now, in addition, economically, that can benefit India big time because India can be an important supplier. I know because coming from Amritsar, I know that Amritsar can benefit a lot through if we can get markets in UAE or in Saudi Arabia for both our fruits, vegetables, our handicrafts. Similarly,
so stay with me for a moment, sir. Let's just play out what Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President, what was their conversation like on IMEC and I2U2?
भारत और अमेरिका की साझेदारी लोकतंत्र और लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों तथा व्यवस्थाओं को सशक्त बनाती है। इंडो पैसिफिक में शांति, स्थिरता और समृद्धि को बढ़ाने के लिए हम मिलकर काम करेंगे। इसमें क्वाड की विशेष भूमिका होगी। इस वक्त भारत में होने जा रही क्वाड समिट में हम पार्टनर देशों के साथ नए क्षेत्रों में सहयोग बढ़ाएंगे। आईमेक और I2U2 के तहत हम इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर और कनेक्टिविटी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर मिलकर काम करेंगे।